Right now, worldwide tensions are coiling up and a possibility of World War III is heavily increasing. And of course, the markets are not reacting in a favorable way towards this very important news that hit the market. The US stock market took a hit, the Bitcoin price action also took a hit and is now sitting on one of the most important levels of support on the lower side. So on today's update video, I'm gonna be talking exactly about that. What this means right now here, what are the most important levels to be looking at right now. Of course, I'm going to give an update on my trades I am currently taking, about what the forecast is for the upcoming period in the market, what I right now think about ETH, because we got a massive rejection from off the highs right here. So a lot to talk about, so don't forget to once again slap up that like button back above 1,000 likes, it would be highly appreciated. And with that being said, let me jump straight away in towards today's update video. So first of all, in yesterday's video, I talked about how we were holding this range here, and if we were to be breaking below that 107k level, that we were to be moving all the way down towards the lower side of support. And that is exactly what happened. Whenever we did broke below the 107k barrier, we did straight away saw a big dump towards the downside, all the way down towards 102,000 US dollars. So it is quite unfortunate, but Bitcoin is once again all the way down towards the lower side of the range here. But personally, I do believe there is an even lower target in this range here, and that is going to be the green box right here, and that is the 100,000 US dollars all the way down towards 101,000 US dollars. If we, however, break below that level, then for sure we're going to be probably in a bigger reversal towards the downside. But for now on, we're still consolidating. We created somewhat of a double top structure right now, but especially the macro has been shifting because, of course, we got beef between Israel and Iran. Of course, there has been a lot of things happening. I'm not going to be deep diving in towards that, but basically the results of that, oil prices have been skyrocketing towards the upside. We yesterday saw a 10% plus day on oil barrels, and they're now going for $75 a barrel. Of course, we know the higher oil prices are, the bigger the risk of inflation is also, because almost everything is created from oil. And yes, if the prices of oil rise, usually the price of living rises as well here. So this is a very important metrics to look at for the inflation. And of course, as the expectations are right now rising again here, that inflation is going to rise, of course, we are for sure going to be probably see less rate cuts across all markets and especially across the US. And that is also once again quite a bad thing for all markets. So the US stock market took a small little dip here. Bitcoin did the exact same. At the same time yesterday, we actually still saw very strong inflows on the spot Bitcoin, but especially on the spot Ethereum ETF. We've literally are right now seeing a record week on the Ethereum ETF, which is quite exciting to be seeing here. But of course, overnight, over last night, of course, we have seen a big drop towards the downside and actually added another weekly candle towards the major wicks here on that weekly time frame. And so far, clearly, we have not broken above this very critical level of about 2,600 US dollars as weekly resistance for ETH. And yes, really on the daily time frame, you can see that we're right now creating somewhat of a small little fake out, but we're once again back on the lower side of support. So yeah, it is quite unfortunate to be seeing here, but this is currently the reality of the entire market, because it's not only Ethereum that came down, because the ETH compared to Bitcoin valuation remained to be actually very strong, but it was of course more so Bitcoin came down and dragged the entire market towards the downside. And yes, I do believe there are some very big trades coming up right now here, but right now still we are holding above the daily EMA here, and I've said multiple times here, as long as we're not crossing bearish and especially not flipping below it, I remain to be bullish here. But of course, as soon as we're going to be seeing a break below this level and especially a bearish crossover, it could start to signal us that the market is going to go in a bigger reversal. And at the same time, while we have seen this dip towards the downside, we exactly once again grabbed the lower side liquidity sitting around 104,000 US dollars. But now clearly, like you can see on this chart, the majority of the liquidity is not laying below us anymore, but especially above us. There's a lot of short liquidations laying around that 111,000 US dollar level. So yeah, it is most likely that Bitcoin is ultimately going to be grabbing out that liquidity. But yeah, we are seeing clearly liquidity being piled up on the top side. The funding rates of most of the altcoins and Bitcoin are once again going negative. This means that the majority of the market is currently panicking, and of course are expecting the market is going to go even further towards the downside. Well, you have to understand, we are right now actually already trading on a big level of support where we've bounced from multiple times before as well here. So Bitcoin is coming down to support right now, and it looks to be that many people are apparently short shorting support, which is not a very favorable condition and a favorable strategy to be doing in my opinion. But guys, if you want to be trading Bitcoin long or short right now here, there's a big deposit bonus currently running on the BTTC exchange here. If you right now go to the link description of today's video, sign up an account using this first link in today's video description, you can get an insane deposit bonus of 10% of all your money you deposit up to $10,000 on this exchange. So let's say you deposit $100,000, you get a free $10,000 additional to be trading with here. And let's say you only have like $1,000, you deposit $1,000, you get a free $100 to trade with extra on this exchange here. So yeah, make sure to check it out here. There's also a complete tutorial video on how to set up your account, also on how to get started with, of course, your first trade and what all the features are of the exchange here. So make sure to check it out in today's link description of today's video. So further on, I want to be diving in towards the symmetrical triangle Bitcoin is right now creating, because now we've created a clear top in the market right here. And we are starting to see that we're creating somewhat of a downward sloping trend line, right? And then I started to be looking, of course, okay, here we created support, here also, and once again, we touched this level, and Bitcoin actually bounced from off this range right here. So Bitcoin is also right now creating an upward sloping support line. Ultimately, on the daily time frame, if we're looking at one level, I prefer to look at horizontals, and that is, of course, clearly this level, right? The $100,000 towards 101K is just going to be the big support level for Bitcoin. And yeah, it is going to be likely that we're going to be bouncing from this level. If we right now could be creating, of course, a higher low, we are going to be creating a very interesting strategy, because first we create a lower low, and now we're once again creating a higher low. We could be in of gathering some very strong momentum for Bitcoin right here. But ultimately, what we're seeing right now is just another consolidation, and this consolidation mainly happened due to the bad news we got yesterday of the worldwide panic, of course. So hopefully things are going to be settling down here. And like I said in many videos before, always, resistance is resistance until it's proven otherwise. And it clearly remains to be that the top side of the big weekly resistance is going to be $110,000. This is the level to be breaking. If we can start to break above it, it's going to be ultimately very great here, but still it is a very big resistance for Bitcoin. Then on the global liquidity, we indeed are supposed to get a slight little drop here, but ultimately the liquidity is still pushing up higher, and the Bitcoin chart isn't. So ultimately, there is a very big chance Bitcoin is going to be seeing a big continuation anytime soon as well here. So many charts are still suggesting there's strong accumulation going on here, especially also on the miner side of things here. The Bitcoin price targets are still laying above us right now here, and you have to understand, we are right now entering the last 3 to 4 months of this cycle, and we're entering the summer. And like I discussed in a couple of videos ago here, probably this is going to be a very bullish summer, unless there's going to be some macro environment things like this war or something else, which could be potentially spoiling it. It is going to be very great for the entire market. So yeah, things are looking great so far still. I don't think Bitcoin is going to go much higher, but I still think there's steam in this market, especially on Ethereum. We're seeing very strong Ethereum inflows, especially from the BlackRock side here. Maybe they do know something about the staking ETF here, which they are applying for, and they're just preparing aggressively right now on Ethereum. So ultimately, as long as BlackRock remains to be buying very strongly, we're going to be having a very strong foundation for Ethereum right here to be pushing up higher from off this point here. So also exchange net positions on the ETH have been rapidly outflowing here. So there's been a lot of accumulation going on here. And yeah, I've discussed this chart many times before already, but we are clearly right now in one of the low risk parts of the cycle where you can accumulate Ethereum for the maximum amount of gains here. So I am betting very heavily on it. I really think ETH is going to be flying up to $4,000 on the next leg towards the upside as soon as everything is cleared here. Right now, all we're doing is just clearing all the sell orders. Everyone who wants to go out of the market is going out right now here, but I remain to be holding strong here. So yeah, I've got multiple trades open on ETH, and I really think we are going to be seeing a next move towards the upside anytime soon here. So this was it from me in today's update video. If you did enjoy it, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, slap on that like button, and see you guys on the next one. Peace out. Goodbye.